Hello everybody, how is it going? So, today we got more of the 3v3. Here are the teams real quick. Sakazuki, Anel, and Gecko versus Sakazuki, Katakuri, and Gecko. So I think literally the same exact teams we had last match, or the same exact team comps, not same teams, but we're seeing a Gecko mirror. Here's the player on the right. It is Gecko, Rebecca, Hina, Great Eruption, and Perona. Yeah, so we're seeing a mirror. It was that, or I guess they show the same matchup they did last time, but, you know, probably better to switch it up. And I honestly have no idea how the mirror goes. I am not a huge fan of any mirrors in like any game I play, so we'll see. Here's the other Gecko player on the left. They have Rob Lucci, Absalom, Gecko, 8-drop Gecko. Her name will come to me. 1-drop 2K counter, and Tashigi. What's her name? Sindri. There we go. Came to me. Mills 5 on play, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. I think I'm not even sure what you'd want to go in this matchup, either first or second. Maybe first, just so you have the curve, but if you go second, you have the 8-drop Gecko curve, which could just be stronger. Not too sure. I guess we'll just see. But player on the left starting it off, playing the Sindri, milling 5. See what they hit. Hopefully we can see at least some of what they hit. Looks like I think the most important card in there was a Helmeppo. Also mills like a Sabo, I think 2 Surus, 2 Helmeppos, but having the Helmeppo in the graveyard is pretty good. Combos well with your 8-drop, so cannot complain at that. Looks like player on the right just opting to pass. The only thing they really could have done is play the Great Eruption for some cycle, but you probably want to hold that to set up your Absalom, so makes sense. Player on the left, I guess we can go by like the teams because it's red team and blue team, so the red team player doing the usual Gecko things, kind of like the Dofi-esque ability, swinging for 6, tapping 2, discarding an Absalom, playing out the Perona to force them to discard, and then the blue team will take that attack, picks up a brand new, which is, it's not bad. It just kind of makes you choose between leader affecting or playing down the brand news. You could like Great Eruption the Perona, and then you can Absalom it, but that also does allow them to use Perona again next turn, so maybe not the best course of action. Yep, just swing 7, uses leader, mills Absalom and Rebecca. Is just gonna bring back the Perona because yeah, the early game Perona is super obnoxious. I can't lie. Just basically you're guaranteed to take that life, and you don't gain any card advantage because you have to discard. Super annoying. I feel like Gecko also, like, they have more cards that force discard that could definitely be good, but it is definitely not like the standardized build, but it's definitely annoying to play against. Just being forced to drop cards from your hand, unoptimal. But red team swinging 6, using Gecko effect, trashing the Lucci. I don't think they have another Perona, so I guess they're just bringing back something for body. Was probably hoping to just mill a Perona. I think that was just a Perona or a Hogback would have been okay, I think. But Absalom not really getting any value. Bit unfortunate, but you hope for the high roll there, I guess. And blue team does take that hit. Might take this 7k as well. Dropping 2 cards early feels a little bit bad, but they might. Nope, they're taking it. I agree with that. Get a Lucci. Not bad, not bad. I feel like Lucci is a bit harder to set up in Gecko than Sakazuki, obviously, because Sakazuki always has access to the -1 with their leader. Also, just all these 4 drops early is like definitely kind of annoying to like set up because you need like 2 or Great Eruption, and then you'd need something to bring another one to 1 cost, which is pretty hard. You'd need like 3 Great Eruptions. So, especially on these earlier turns, getting that Lucci off isn't very likely. But he does combo well with 8-drop Gecko Moria, being able to bring back like a Helmeppo and the Lucci. That at least you'll pop something, and then you'll develop a 9k body and a 6k, along with a 3k, which could potentially swing. But blue team playing down the Hina, minusing 4 to one of the 4 drops. We'll have to see which one, I'm not sure. And then swinging 6 with leader, using leader effect, thinking on what to discard here. I think it's going to end up being this Lucci, unless you want to keep it in hand. I feel like it's okay to drop it, because next turn is your 8-drop turn if you do want to do that on curve, which is not bad, but no Helmeppo in the graveyard for, that combo. Bringing back the Absalom, yep, makes sense. I feel like Absalom is just kind of better early with Gecko. Yeah, shuffling back the brand new and the Rebecca. Gonna pop whichever one they reduced. Okay, it was the Absalom. Makes sense. Probably just don't want to get hit with Perona again, but attacking Perona for 6. So this is a pretty efficient turn, honestly. Getting 2 attacks on that Perona and also popping the Absalom while also developing the Hina. So kind of a really big swing and board that turn. And player, or the red team player, going up to 7 Dawn. Nothing really great to do this turn. You probably want to get down the brand new, just see what options you have. You know, you could potentially find like a Great Eruption, which could let you out some of their board. Could also just get down like the Borsalino. Just get some defense. You're still at 5 life. I mean, there is that. So, not in too terrible of a spot. Just right now, just losing on board, which I feel like is almost pretty normal. I don't know about the mirror, because you guys can both do it, but I feel like Gecko is really good at just setting up a bunch of like 4 drops, 3 drops, obviously because of their leader effect, but it's also, like Absalom will be trading with one of your early bodies, so it just feels like they can always consistently win on board early. As, just kind of, I feel like they just do it a bit faster than, say, like Sakazuki. Because Sakazuki might just be like hound blazing your stuff and playing, searchers to find more reduction or removal. But I feel like Gecko usually has access to the Absalom, or can get to it pretty quick by, milling stuff with brand news, your leader effect. Yep, he will tap 2, play down the brand new, will completely whiff. Yep, that's unfortunate, but it will happen when you are running multiple engines in a deck. Feels like red green law, But they don't play more than just the brand new searcher. It's just brand new. But honestly, like, whiffing on brand new isn't that bad, just because you're still putting stuff in graveyard for your leader effect or your 8-drop Gecko. So it's never really that bad. Obviously you did go -1, but could have been worse, could have been worse. Looking like just gonna attack for 8. Could be at life, honestly, because your opponent is already at 2 life. Just kind of disrespect the board for now. I don't think really mills anything impactful there. Probably gonna bring back the Perona. Force them, drop a couple cards or drop down to 1 life. Guaranteed gonna discard 1 here. I still feel like you discard the Lucci, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Nope, discards the Lucci. Let's go, I wasn't completely wrong. And yeah, it does drop down to 1 life. That's fair. Like, having them having 3 5k bodies is a little bit scary, but you're at 5 life. You do have access to some pretty good removal, so outing them isn't too far-fetched. With, say, like your 8-drop Gecko, you just need I think just 1 Great Eruption, and then you could set it up with the Helmeppos that he milled earlier, so not too bad. But getting a little bit bullied with 5Ks right now. Can't be too upset about it though, just because you are getting some more cards to hand. It was inevitable when you're losing on board like this. Probably going to go 1 more 5, and probably going to establish his own 8-drop, play it on curve. Always going to be strong. You probably want to counter out of 1 of these, maybe 2. I mean, you could drop down to 1 as well, but dropping the 2k on a 5k swing always feels bad. Gonna go 5 one more time. I think, I don't know, do you have to drop this Borsalino? Like, probably, just because you're already behind on board. You need a little bit more leeway. So, yep, does counter out with the Borsalino. And here comes 8-drop. Let's see what they bring back. It's not going to be too crazy. It'll probably just be just kind of like a value Gecko. Not going to pop anything, but we'll establish a blocker, a 9k body, and get a search off. So, I mean, the card is just always good. The card is crazy, honestly. Yep. Finds a 2k counter out of that brand new. So, that's also very solid. Plenty of cards in hand, plenty of counter. has a blocker, so shouldn't really be able to kind of be cheesed out, especially with Borsellino not being able to be KO'd or anything like that. So I'm curious if we see a Gecko in return. I think you do, just because you play Gecko, you're able to pop 2 of the 4Ks. Could also just like swing into 1. What is the optimal route here? Because you're almost definitely using that Great Eruption, putting either the Perona or the Hina down by 2. Now when you play Gecko, you'll bring back Lucci and the Helmeppo. Helmeppo will reduce whatever you didn't reduce by 3, and yeah, you'll be able to pop both. So it's seeming like a good turn. You know, very down in card advantage though. That 5k will be met with a 1k counter, so you're probably just not going to swing with the Perona because there's no reason to, because it'll just be met with the Borsellino for free. And yep, uses the Great Eruption, bringing down Perona by 2, tapping 8, playing down the Gecko. Should be Helmeppo and Lucci right at the top, and there we go. Sacking off the Sindri. Gonna play the Helmeppo in defense, -3 to the Hina, and then just Lucci pop both of them. So again, a very big swinging board, but with the hand size, that is definitely, you're at a pretty big deficit right now, only being at 3 cards in hand right now. You are winning on board for now, which is good. Don't have a blocker down though, so your life could be dropped pretty low this turn. It's looking like the player from the blue team not having another 8 drop, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't know, how would you go about this turn? Maybe just block her up. You know, you have a Sabo, you have Rebecca. Gonna go 1 Dawn on leader. Just attacking 6, I'm pretty sure, at life. Not gonna dedicate that swing to either of the 3k bodies, which is fair enough. You know, your opponent's on 3 cards in hand, 2 life. Asking for a 2k at this point in the game, like, it's pretty likely they don't have a 2k, honestly. So you could pretty easily put them down to 0 life, and like you could try to all in with the Borsellino. I don't know if it's necessarily the right play. Let's see, they have 9 Dawn left. They'd be swinging for 14. How many 2Ks would they need to get out of that? They would straight up just need 5 2Ks. Right? Yeah, because 5 times 2 is 10. So that put them at 15. So, I mean, honestly, I don't think it's too crazy to just go 9 Dawn Borsellino and attack. I might have taken that route, honestly, but you could just wall up as well. You know, you do have a ton of cards in hand, and they have like 3 real attackers along with, you know, 2 3k bodies and their leader. If you play 2 more blockers this turn, you're almost guaranteed to live, but the game could drag on a bit because then, you know, they could start playing blockers, and yeah, could just, you know, just extend the game a bit. But I don't think it's too crazy to just swing for 14. But looks like he is going to go with the safer route of playing down the Rebecca, grabbing back a 2k, and then tapping 5 for the Sabo. So, yep, you're pretty much guaranteed alive. I don't know if you really needed to take this extra turn, but I guess, you know, it is a bit safer than just swinging 14 on Borsellino. But I probably would have taken my chances at my opponent not having 5 2Ks. But I mean, fair enough, you know. You should live this. Your 8 drop should stick around most likely. And opponent would need quite a couple blockers, I think, to live this following turn, especially, you know, even he's gonna swing with the Borsellino. I like that. Just check him. Why not? Yeah, fair enough. Passing it over to player on the red team. This is a dire spot. Made it, you know, a bit less, I guess, sealed by swinging with that Borsellino, but that also kind of tells you they probably have a lot of counter in hand, and they do. I think they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 2Ks and a 1K. 2 blockers, both can't be KO'd, so it's not like you can swing with leader, cheat out an Absalom, you know, take one of the blockers out. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to go for game. I think, you know, you don't have a choice, because looking at his hand, I don't believe he has many blockers, if any blockers at all. It looks like a bunch of just 8 drops and like Kuzans and such. I believe it's Kuzan at least. But, yep, I think you just kind of have to go for game this turn. Is going to start off with an 8k attack from Lucci that will be met with 2 2ks. Again, we do know the player on the blue team has a ton of 2ks, but I don't dislike the 8k swing. Immediately getting out 2 2ks is not a bad idea if they have it. If not, you know, also could have just been met with a block. Just really depends how the player on the blue team wants to play it. I don't know, I think, I feel like it's pretty hard to not live this turn, right? Gonna go 7. Again, can just counter out with that. Could just take the Rebecca block, kind of whatever you want to do. Will be countered out of using the Perona and the Sabo. Okay, so there's 4 more attacks, potentially. Swinging with the Helmeppo and the brand new. It feels a little bit bad, but you kind of have to, right? You have to hope some of the cards in hand are not counter, because at this point there's 1 life, 2 blockers, you have 4 attacks. You kind of just need everything to go through, right? Because, you know, 5 could be blocked, 5 could be blocked, 5 would just eat it, and then you like they need to get out of a 9, which is pretty likely. But again, we'll just swing 5 with leader, and yeah, now you have 3 more attacks, staring down 1 blocker, 1 life, so it's like still need to be blocked, and then the next 2 hits would need to go through, which is pretty unlikely, because you can swing for like 5 or 6 with this brand new, and if it just gets countered out of, I think you just lose. You know, there's not much else that can really be done. If they had a way, you know, to out this Rebecca, I think it was winnable, most likely. Maybe. Still kind of hard, because again, your opponent just did have a ton of counter, you know. They still do have 3 2k counters. He's gonna swing for a 6 with the Helmeppo. That'll probably just be met with a 2k. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Swinging 6 again. Can hit or can block, doesn't matter. Swinging 9, it'll just be blocked. Passing it over. And this should just be a 10 Dawn on Gecko. Attack for 19. Yep. And that is the end of that match. The blue team taking that one. And I do think we will be able to see some of the other games pretty soon, because I think both of them are still going at this point. Hopefully they'll cut over to it. Yep, here we go. In the Saka Mira, yeah, sure. Saka Mira. Blue team's turn. Red team on 1 life, no blockers, 2 cards in hand. You can probably go for game. Yeah, you're gonna swing 7 with the Helmeppo. Not unlikely that goes through, and then you just go 10 with leader, or you know, potentially Town Blaze for more. Just gonna figure it out, I guess, what the best numbers are. I do think, yeah, as the player on the blue team, you definitely do need to go for game this turn, because you're staring down what, a 9k body, a 6k body, and leader. I think he's at 2 life though. It's kind of hard to see. So yeah, 2 life, and it looks like he has a lot of cards in hand. Never mind, you might not have to go for game this turn, or if you like miss game, you might be able to live. So we'll just see what he ends up going for. I do think game is definitely possible. This is gonna use a Hound Blaze to bottom the Suru and boost up Helmeppo by 3. So it just has to tap 2 for that. Or not. Unless he already did. Maybe he already did and I just missed it. My bad. So I guess attacking for 7. Kind of same as what he was already doing. Player in the red team will take that. And I do think he had 1 more Hound Blaze in hand. So we'll probably use that Hound Blaze plus just whatever the remaining Dawn is. Should be enough. I think you have to swing for 11 for this to be guaranteed game. And he already has that with the 6 Dawn he has right now. Because at most he could have 3 2Ks, right? Okay, has 3 Hound Blazes. Okay. So bumps up his leader to 11, 12, 13. kind of doing weird things with the Dawn. I don't understand it, but that is game, kind of regardless of what he was doing there. And I do think we will still be able to catch the last game. So right now that is 2. Yeah. Right now I think the red team has already won. Oh, sorry, the blue team has already won with the they already have 2 wins. So even if Anel does take this, it kind of just doesn't matter. But I mean, whatever. Why not? Katakuri swinging 9 into the Yamato. All right, based. This looks like it's been a weird game, honestly. Anel's seemingly in not a bad spot. Katakuri has, looks like 4 cards in hand. I see a Beji and a Satori, but I can't tell what the other 2 cards are. Does Anel have Reject? I think that's what really matters here. So Anel attacking 4-9, and looking at Katakuri's hand a little bit more, they just have 2 2Ks, so they are forced to take that. We'll pick up, looks like another 7 Mom. Not what you want to see at this point. I'm pretty sure Anel does have the Reject, so it's looking like this will just be game. Yep, paying 4. They both will take their last life, or I guess Anel will take his second to last life, and attack for 11. And yep, does get it. So, I mean, I guess at least the red team got one of them, but kind of just didn't matter at this point. A bit unfortunate, but that is just kind of how 3v3s are, you know? And yeah, the blue team will end up taking it. Where's the little winner thing? There it is. There we go. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Before I go, I think the next one does have a Reiju in it, and I'm excited to watch that, so look out for that video. But yeah, I'll see you guys.